What is going on, everyone? So we've had a tough week in the market so far, but we are seeing this week we have earnings set for D-Wave, ticker symbol QBTS. And today they had a 16% gain. And I have some potential theories why we're seeing such positive price action. We're going to go into the price action. We're going to look at a couple articles. We're going to cover a lot in this video. And without further ado, let's just jump right in. Okay, so first and foremost, we're going to take a trip back in time. We're going to go back to Wednesday, January 8th, which was the date of this interview with Dr. Baratz on CNBC. And we saw that the price of D-Wave dropped all the way down to sub $5. Since that point, we saw some recovery and consolidation. And actually, we saw a recent rally until macro in the market kind of pushed everything down. If we remember contextually what happened on that fateful day, all right, so let's take a journey back through time. All the quantum stocks in the stock market crashed 50 or 60% overnight because Jensen Huang made a comment saying the technology was 15, 20, or 30 years away. Let's listen to the man himself, a little refresher on what he said. He not only talked about how they are using practical quantum computing today commercially, but he also talked and alluded to earnings.
Aspects of computing, but certainly not all aspects of
computing is getting wrong here.
So, Deirdre, thanks for the opportunity to be here. I very much appreciate it. I think that Jensen Huang is a very smart individual, and he's built an amazing company. And he may be the authority on many aspects of computing, but certainly not all aspects of computing, and certainly not quantum computing. In this case, he's dead wrong. And the reason he's wrong is that we at D-Wave are commercial today. We have companies like MasterCard, or NTT Docomo, or Pattison Food Group, or Ford Otosan that are using our quantum computers today in production to benefit their business operations. Not 30 years from now, not 20 years from now, not 15 years from now, but right now, today. And moreover...
So this is one of this interview and all the confusion and chaos that Jensen Huang's comments created was one of the reasons I got interested in this topic on a deeper level. And this was one of the only actual strong rebukes from a CEO. Dr. Baratz has shown strong leadership, strong understanding of the moment, and stepped up to the plate on the CNBC and delivered a very strong message. And let's hear what he had to say about earnings 2 months ago.
If D-Wave is offering better optimization and tools, then why aren't you valued like an AI company? Why is your revenue, bookings, and profitability contracting in the latest quarter?
So, first of all, with respect to bookings and revenue, all I will say is that our business is actually growing quite nicely, and I am very much looking forward to sharing our Q4 and fiscal 24.
Was there an exception then? I mean, Q3.
So she's a little bit aggressive and kind of cuts him off, but there you go. He's saying Q4 2024, which D-Wave reports before market on Thursday, before the market opens. He's saying he's excited to share earnings. So take from that what you will.
Your revenue was down 27% in your latest quarterly report. What happened?
As I said, Deirdre, I am really looking forward to sharing our Q4 and fiscal 24 financial and operating results when we report earnings. So,
okay, so there you have it. And we're going to go into price action now. But I wanted to remind all of you that he said this on CNBC right when the quantum crash was happening. 130,000 people viewed this. This knowledge is out there. It's been there. Okay. So why did D-Wave have a 16% rally today? Well, let's look at the entirety of the quantum stock. Let's look at our watch list here. So we see that by far D-Wave had the best day. We see Coherent at 6%, ARQQ at 5%, and even IonQ had a slight recovery as well as Rigetti. We want to look at, as always, when we look at our quantum watch list, we want to take a look at the wider market conditions. So what was the market today? So mostly red, okay? We had we had Nvidia in the green, Tesla in the green, we had AVGO in the green, but for the most part, the major indexes all ended in the red. So quantum is doing quite well when you consider macroeconomic pressures. Now, we have this interview from Dr. Baratz, and now I want to go into more specifically the price action from today and some indicators that you all can keep an eye on as we go into earnings Thursday pre-market. So if we go back and we look at the entire context, which I think is important, of D-Wave, we know that before Google Willow was announced, this was a stock that was trading in the $1 range. As we see in December of 2024, we have a rally, we have a breakout, an explosion. We actually touched $10 or $11 a share before the quantum crash, where we cratered down, we consolidate, and now if we zoom in on the chart, we can see some interesting things are starting to develop. So what I thought was really interesting about today's chart and this 16% is if we look at volume, volume often tells the story. So towards the end of the day, suddenly, okay, and we're talking right 15 minutes before market close, suddenly there's a massive, massive influx of volume, okay, and a push up to 540. We know before macro and this market got very challenging for many, many stocks through the stock market that D-Wave had touched $8. So this was within the last month. We know that in the last 6 months, only 2.5 months ago, D-Wave was trading at $10. So if we believe what Dr. Baratz has said, if we are to believe that financials are improving, we know that Rigetti just had an earnings miss and still did well after the earnings. In the case that earnings and financials have improved, then the upside to this specific stock seems to be very lucrative. Let's also take a look at a few other catalysts. So I saw this article that D-Wave was featured in the 37th annual Roth conference. D-Wave's 5,000 qubit advantage quantum computers, the world's largest, are available on premises or via the cloud, supported by 99.9% availability and uptime. More than 100 organizations trust D-Wave with their toughest computational challenge. With 200 million problems submitted to its Advantage and Advantage 2 systems to date, its customers apply D-Wave's technology to address use cases spanning optimization, artificial intelligence, and more. So D-Wave was featured in the coverage of the 37th annual Roth conference. Craig Hallam from Market Insider reiterated their buy rating on QBTS. All right, folks. So super exciting. We also know that there's a couple other catalysts coming up in addition to earnings, which we expect to be good. We also see in just a few short days, we're a week away from the keynote, the earnings, which we're expecting to look improved. We also know that there's a major presence for quantum computing at Nvidia GTC with a keynote of March 18th, the AI conference is March 17th to the 21st. And we see that Dr. Baratz is here on the panel with Nvidia. We see Rigetti CEO. We see Quantinium. We see IonQ, Microsoft, Atom, QEra, a who's who of quantum computing, major catalysts in the coming future. But wait, that's not all. We also have the Qubits 2025 conference, which I am personally attending, and I'm super excited to get out to Scottsdale and meet some of these folks and learn more about these quantum computers. They have put on their first of a kind Qubits 25 Quantum Realized. It's D-Wave's annual user conference and one of the premier quantum computing events of the year. This is a super exciting stock, a super exciting time for D-Wave. I personally have a pretty substantial position in D-Wave, and I've been adding on the dip. Of course, you should all do your own due diligence and research, but I'm hoping we see some solid numbers on Thursday, and I think that we could see some nice moves with D-Wave's stock. All right, y'all, that's everything I got for you. If you appreciate content like this, please consider leaving a like or subscribe. Thank you.